Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Man, you know what? Let's just go back and just say, since you came back to the UK, you've had a run of shows, man. Sellout after sellout, Aberdeen, and what else did we have? Birmingham. Like, really, man, has it been such a surprise coming back to the UK and having seen the impact that your music's having now on the audiences around you?
Yeah, it actually has. We've been coming here for a while now, and we haven't had a tremendous amount of radio play. Recently it's been picked up a bit, like the end got picked up, which has helped as well. But we've toured pretty fucking hard, over this, over the last 5 years, and we've played lots of kind of not just the big cities in the UK. We've really been, all around.
That's one thing I've noticed about you. You seem to get really stuck in because Liverpool, really, if you look on the scale of things, it's quite a small city.
Yeah.
You have Manchester and Leeds and
Then we've been to like Milton Keynes and Guildford and Wakefield and like, you know what I mean, like heaps of like places I've never even heard of, and I feel like that the effort that we put in there is now snowballing into the kind of crowds that we're getting today, which is it's inspiring, and it's a good place to be coming into our third record.
I know, and before we get stuck into the record, going back to 2016, did you ever believe that the success of Hills End, did you think that success was, was you able to judge it in any way? Did you have any expectations, or was it just put the record out there?
Yeah, probably more the latter, man. I don't think.
But you did lose a number 8 to Australia.
Yeah.
75.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, especially because we recorded it, most of it in my bedroom as well. That, and yeah, like we did the most of the drums in the little studio, and then we kind of did most of the guitars and some of the vocals and stuff back at in our apartment. But yeah, it's been amazing.
Has it transcended? Is it very much different now, like the second record than you had for now, 2018?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of. Well, firstly, with For Now, we didn't want to make the same record as we did, and sonically it's still, I guess, maybe similar type of songwriting, but working with Kim Moyes from the presets, right? He's got some. He's one of my favorite producers, and all the sounds he pulls for the preset stuff is amazing. So I think that allowed Hills End to sound different, but we still were really focused on the songwriting. But also it was a little less daunting releasing the second record because we were starting to generate a following. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. It's the whole. I feel like our whole journey over in the UK so far, especially not being from here. Maybe it's a bit different when you're in your. It was different for us in Australia because we were from there, and you got mates around, and it's just where where you grow up and stuff. But kind of being foreign and coming into the UK, kind of playing, particularly Tommy and I being, heavily influenced of that whole 90s kind of Britpop scene and lots of that kind of music, and a bunch of, Aussie kids doing it. You could have kind of got told to fuck off, but people have embraced it, which is cool. Yeah.
When you debut record, it's great being compared when you hear like the Oasis and the Britpop,
yeah.
As you mentioned, but I definitely listen to For Now and think, right, that's a DMA's
Totally. There's a lot more going on than this. Yeah.
And like you say, the White, the fella, when I listen, I was saying when I listen to Emily White,
Yeah.
you know, one, two things I have to mention about this record, when I listen to the one out, put that on, there's something about it which is like a kickstart when you lead to an album.
Yeah.
When you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, and that's what it is, man. It gets
Cool.
right in there. And then when I listen to Emily White, it's something, it like gently brings you back down to
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something quite, it's just something quite melodic and beautiful about it. It just brings you back down.
I'm glad you said that because it's. I think there was a little while where I wasn't. I think album order is really important because even though these days it's a bit harder that people are kind of just listening to random stuff on Spotify, but it's still I think it's still really important to be able to put on a record and play it through. And like you said, and that was exactly how we felt while we put Emily White last, because it was quite. The recording came out quite beautiful, and it was kind of it was a bit sad, nostalgic, but hopeful in some way, kind of. I don't know.
And then just when I'm leaving now, it's like sessions.
Yes.
Like now,
Which is getting released soon, I think. Probably. Yeah.
when I listen to that now, I feel like it's a complete expression of your artistry as a whole, like how much you have developed in the space of like 4 or 5 years. Because when I listen to so many tracks, when I'm seeing little snippets online, even when you've got Mason on the piano, it's just a completely different elements. When I've seen videos online, but when I've seen it in that environment where everyone is just fixated on you, and then you can just, it's like you hear the music differently.
Yeah.
Sounding too cliche.
No. And you also hear them for how the songs were kind of initially written.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And I thought that was great. Like, I think Mason played a different instrument nearly every track on that. He played pedal steel and cello and piano and,
You've always been interested in different instruments. Like, that's supposed to be your
Do you know what? I wasn't as much until I met Mason. And then he taught me how to play dobro, which is like that bluegrass slide guitar, which actually we used on the riff and play it out. That yeah, and shit. It was a dobro mixed with a synth, I think, and like running through all the pedals and shit. But yeah, definitely meeting Mason. Like, he's taught me a lot about and got me into other instruments. Because once you start learning a few, like, I'm not talking about being like a master at it, but you start wrapping your head around a few. I mean, you're a musician as well.
I used to play saxophone.
Yeah. But it gets easier to pick up more.
Oh, yeah, man, of course.
This is kind of like with languages as well. If you were to learn a few languages, then you pick up, you kind of. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
One thing as well, when I've seen you, it's like live now. It's really difficult. I don't know if you've noticed it yourselves when you're being live. Do you see like a technique?
Yeah, we actually spoke about it the other day, and it's funny. It's the kind of thing that you can only get from playing hundreds and hundreds of gigs all around for years. Like like the amount of gigs we've played over the 5 years, and this is what frustrates me. Well, I feel is unfortunate for some bands in Australia, because when you tour Australia, firstly, there's not as many people as here. So you kind of can only really hit the capital cities, right? And you have to fly because it's fucking huge. You can do rural tours, but there's not as many people. It's not like, you know what I mean? So if you're doing your national tour and you just do the 6 capital cities, you don't really get, you don't play enough shows to do those little tiptoe steps of those tiny increments of getting better as a band, and you have to, and that's what I'm really grateful for, is that we were able to come to the UK and do Europe and America, and over the last 5 years, you get those little increments, because there's like where you improve,
You're saying, so when you step onto like the big stage, like when you play Coachella,
Totally. But even from Coachella to now, the gig's so much better, and we're better, and we're, the like we just moved like about maybe I think it was this year actually, the Leamington Spa gig, Leamington Spa. Um, we had our first gig with in-ear monitors. So like, you know what I mean? And it's like, and we don't play any track, but just because your ears, like, especially with the acoustic guitar, because I've got the electrics behind me, and I don't have an amp. It's crazy loud, so it was like damaging my ears. So we got them, but you play better because you can hear a bit, you know. And it's been very natural and organic. It's not like you just start with in-ear monitors or something like that, you know. So I think it's all these tiny, tiny little things that have just kind of, you know, helped it develop. And we're pretty, and you know, and it's going to keep getting better as we release the next record and stuff. But yeah, thank you for saying that because I think it has become more of a show, you know, from back when we played, you know.
When I watch you now, how do you interact with one another? I've always seen, I was quite fortunate to see you backstage where I was at City.
Yeah.
And I never got, there's no like ego or anything like that. Like, I remember we were having a conversation, we just finished off stage.
Yeah.
We were out within 5 minutes, just chilling with people having a smoke.
Yeah.
I always thought that's why it's so sweet the way that there's no barrier between you and the audience.
No, it's pretty chilled, man.
We're the same as you, and that's it. Because it is easy. There's bands who have met, and it's so easy to be put on the pedestal, and people saying, "Oh yeah, you're this," and you don't need to speak to those individuals, and it happens so easy. But I do love the fact how you just interact with everyone, and it's
Well, yeah, I guess that we're
chill, yeah.
that's just kind of our vibe, and I don't know. I find that kind of like rock star like arrogance is sometimes like not always. I think if it's done in the right way, or it's like cool and you know funny and shit, like that's cool. But then I don't know, if you don't do it right, it's like you just look like a bit of a prick. And well, you know what? If you're that guy, you're that guy. You know, but we're not those guys, so we're just doing what we're doing. You know. Yeah. Well, we're kind of lucky because there's 6 of us touring, and we're all old mates. Like our drummer Liam, who's been there since the start. Him and Lee's, but him and Punt. Oh, Joel's our guitarist. Yeah. So we've all been mates. Joel is we only met a few years ago, but Liam and Mason have been friends since they were 5. You know, Tommy and I used to play in a band together before before this. And me and our bass player Tom knew each other from when we were teenagers. So we're all just mates. So yeah, we just kind of, it's kind of good because there's quite a lot of us. It's not like we're a 3-piece or something. It's like you can kind of just go off and do your own little thing.
Do you love how you support one of the projects? I don't know if it's Joel, but I see him online as like a producer. Would you always?
Yeah, Joel. So Joel's done this thing called Pop Strangers, which he's done for a while, and he's working on some new stuff. And then and our bass player Tom has a new project called Prudence, which he's been like working on, which is awesome as well. Yeah, we're all just mates and shit. And I think maybe that's like why. And we don't do a lot of banter. We're not like, it's never really been our thing. I've also seen bands before play where I thought they were really cool, and then they start talking to the mic and you just want them to shut up and play the lame music. You know what I mean? It's like, I thought you were cool till you fucking open your mouth.
You have watched an interview with you, and you said a great comment, and it was about when you're playing the record live, and you said that you don't want it to sound exactly like the CD. You said you want to bring something new,
Yeah.
interesting to the experience.
That's right, because if you want to just hear the CD, just go home and put on the CD, you know.
Yeah, man, I thought about that a lot. It's like a lot of bands that are producing to play it.
It's because a lot of them are playing with track as well.
Oh, okay, that's another.
Yeah. Anyway, go on, sorry.
No, but it was great. I just thought it was great what you said there. I watched you live, and I've always seen the slight changes or
Yeah.
things you want to implement
Yeah.
for live performance. It's so good as bands to want to do that, and you want to give the fans something different.
That's right. And all our outros and all that kind of stuff, and particularly like the drumming work by Liam and our bass player Tom, they're always kind of just riffing and doing something different, and we never have a set length for outros. If we're vibing it and the crowd's feeling good and stuff, you know, we'll keep going or blah blah blah. Tommy? Oh, whoa. What's your store?
It's like a vintage.
Oh, sick.
And then just having a mooch, man. And what I loved about it, it's just so quiet. It's his own thing. And when I'm watching back on my laptop, it's from when I see it live, and then this fella just the way
Yeah.
I just love how it's like the flip side of it.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
I think you see that.
And like the music, how it makes you awaken, like,
Well, he wasn't always like that. He used to be like pretty like used to just stand there. But that's another thing that I feel as we've developed as artists over the year. We've all become more comfortable on stage, and that's another thing that has with the organic growth of the live performance, and that's another big part of it. Is Tommy becoming more comfortable and working the crowd. I'm pretty proud of him, to be honest. It's cool, you know, because it's a scary thing.
oh yeah, well, it's probably one of the most unnatural things you can think of.
That's right.
Forced up on a stage. You go up on a stage and you don't know if they're with you or they're not, or they're seeing the band.
Yeah.
The band before or whatever, and you've got to go out and play what, like you said.
Totally.
Working out on those tracks with us,
Yeah.
putting it out there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's hats off to them. What you say about it, see Radio X if it's a
Yep.
I'm so surprised he didn't play Glastonbury.
Oh yeah.
I thought, you know what, so many of like my friends and everything, we thought maybe
Yeah.
he might have been on there. But
I would have
it's
loved
not
to.
at all, or is it just
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really know. We just, you know.
I just thought that must actually, man. You know what, before I leave you, I wanted to say, being in England a few times now, do you have any delicacies?
Oh, I've hit most of them, man.
Oh, really?
From well, I didn't know Scouse was a stew. Right? Yeah. So I had one of them with Tommy like a couple of years back. I've done the deep fried haggis and curry sauce and chips in Scotland. You know.
Bro, I've got a few little things for you now, but these are not delicacies, but they're very much when I was growing up. Man, it's what you got.
Okay, cool. I'm excited.
Start off with
Yeah.
corned beef, bro.
Oh yeah.
This is like
Yep.
World War II type of
Yeah.
stuff. Like you say when you're having your
Brilliant.
scouts or whatever.
Well, do you know what? Our monitor guy who does our onstage sound loves corned beef, and he's a Scouse as well. So I'll hit him
You will
up.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Cool.
Go with it, man. Gonna have the HP,
Oh
bro.
yeah, it's a classic.
HP, bro. It doesn't get more English.
With your
than
full
that.
English.
Yeah, with your full
Yeah,
English.
yeah,
You
I
probably
know.
know better than
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
That's what it's about, man. And like,
No, we embrace
you
this
have the
stuff.
equivalent to Vegemite.
Oh, nice. You know what? It's been a long time. Because I'm a big Vegemite fan, and I think I had this years ago when I was a kid, and it didn't really fly. But I'm gonna give it another.
I don't know if it's missing a few ingredients
Yeah.
or what, but I always think Marmite. You've got like you either love it or you hate it.
Do you know what's funny?
I think we've been ripping off Vegemite for years though.
Yeah, well, I think you know how Vegemite started? It started because I think it was, what was the story? Basically, it's like at the bottom of the beer barrels was all the yeast, and that's like I'm not sure if it on the and that's what they and at the bottom of the beer barrels will be all this yeast.
Yeah.
It's like seeing it there, and then like for rations themselves, or like they were like
Oh man.
I know there's something like that. Look it up. I know like there was. I know there's a pretty. I can't.
Taking something away.
Yeah. Look it up. There's a pretty interesting story about like Vegemite and blah blah blah.
Now, just before I leave you, I just want to speak about Australian like music as a whole. I think really over like since you came out and before, man, the success you can see the Ocean Alley.
Yeah. Courtney Barnett and Tame Impala and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what, I don't know what else you want to call it, but very strong at the moment.
Yeah.
Does that feel, like, how does that feel? That you're a part of something? You feel it when you're in Australia, when you meet these bands?
Well, it's really it's well, and King Gizzard as well, who like we talked about, you know. Well, I think one thing is I think the Australian scene has always been strong, firstly, but it's just cool with the internet and stuff like that, and the world getting a bit smaller. Um, that I think people are recognizing it a lot more. But you're definitely right. There is a wave now of the rest of the world kind of soaking in and even being influenced
Yeah,
by it,
100%. But
which is cool.
whereas, like I say, I feel like we're on cusp of more to come. I don't know if you're listening to anyone now. Is anyone on your radar right now, music-wise?
Um, well, the Chemical Brothers just released a new record today.
Oh, yeah, man, no,
Yeah, yeah, they came out. Yeah. Oh, we just like me.
I'd love to do something with him, right?
Oh, yeah. I've said it before, but like, I don't want to look like I'm like, you know, too hectic. But they're just the best. Like, yeah, they're so good. They're just so good. And I haven't seen them live yet, so like,
Well, if you ever get
yeah. So we have a pretty good time. I think anyone has a good time putting on the Chemical Brothers. Who else is Oh, my little brother's releasing an album soon. He's in a band called Planet, and they're coming over here. I think they might be doing Sound City actually. Yeah, you should check them out.
yeah, man, I will.
Yeah. So they're going to be releasing some new music. I've got a mate called Mossy, who plays under Mossy, and he's got like a new album coming out as well. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, my girlfriend's is going to release some stuff soon, I think as well. Yeah, so it's good. It's exciting.
Johnny, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, man.
Speaking to me. I know it's all a little bit, this is your downtime, but I appreciate
No, this is good. This is good.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Okay. Thanks, man. Great interview.